Individual book navigation. Looking at legal and management to begin with. Like all the books, we have visit the G700 companion website. At the very top, bottom of the screen, we've got some controls to the bottom left. In the center of the screen, we've got the page controls. Like all the books, you can jump to the very end, jump to the very beginning. Turning the page is simple itself. Just grab the corner, or on either side of the books, we have these arrows, or we can use the controls at the very bottom, turning the page. The first thing to point out with most of these books, if we take it back to the front page, at the very bottom middle, we see this small white box here where it says 1/2 and 2. Turning the page, it says 2-3, 2 and 2, 4-5, 2 and 2, 6-7, 2 and 2, 8-9, 2 and 2. The assumption here is that you're looking at pages 8 and 9 of 212. If we were to zoom in on the actual physical page, if we can call it that, we're actually looking at pages 4 and 5. And the reason for that, these books look at the front cover as page 1. So there is a slight discrepancy between the printed publication and the electronic. Why is that important? Well, if we look at some of the controls on the bottom left, just hovering over the icons, we have a bookmark button, a table of contents button, and a thumbnails button. Table of contents, if I click this, it opens up the panel on the left, and these are the chapter headings: induction and training, communication with non-English speaking workers, behavioral safety. All of these will quickly navigate you to the correct section. And if you read seen the earlier video on the supporting information, there is a very good index of indexes in the supporting information. CDM, as an example, we can find the book. We know chapter 3, and a simple double click anywhere on these pages will zoom in, and we can see the main elements: the notification forms, duty holders, under 3.6 workers, project documents, and so on. So it's quite easy to find the right chapter and then find the right paragraph. However, if there is something specific that you cannot find, if you scroll this down to the very bottom, like most books, we have an index. Click the index button and it takes you through to the index section of the book. And like all indexes, it's all alphabetical and we have the page numbers. So if I'm looking for habitual behaviors, I find that here, and as we can see, it's page 133. Now, rather than clicking through this book 50, 60 times, the simplest way to navigate to 133 is using this box at the very bottom. At the moment, it says 204-205/2 and 2. If I was to click the box, however, it goes blank. I'm looking for page 133. If I type in page 133 into this box and then hit enter, it takes me through to page 133. Well, it doesn't. It takes me through to page 129 because of the discrepancy between the electronic and the printed. But with that, 2 clicks, I'm on the right page, and there's my reference, habitual behaviors. So let's walk through that one again. Table of contents, index, find the reference you're looking for, flooding prevention, page 51. Click the box in the bottom middle, it goes blank, 51, hit enter. Again, I know it's not taking me directly to the right page, it's taking me through to page 47, but I also know 2 clicks and I'm on page 51. And I should be able to find now my flooding prevention reference. So we got prevention of drowning, traffic routes, vehicles, and there it is, prevention of risk from fire, flooding, and so on. So navigation, we've got the chapter headings, and looking at the paragraphs, we've got the index, and working your way through. Another useful feature that takes some practice is at the top right we have a search facility. Now this is not intuitive like a search engine such as Google. This will require a little bit of thought. It looks at the letters and it's quite precise. For example, if I was to type up here Pat as in Pat testing, if I hit enter, every reference to those three letters comes up on my left hand side. So I've got specific occupational work, participate, occupation, occupational, patients, occupation. It's not giving me Pat as in portable appliance testing. A simple change to the search term, if I was to say Pat testing and now hit enter, it gives me one reference. I can click on this reference and you can see there it's highlighted. So it is of limited functionality. However, in some areas, things like Redo, for example, because it's quite a unique term, type Redo. Now, every reference to Redo comes up on my left, and I can quite easily click these links, and you can see it's highlighted. That's not the reference I want. And I can keep going until I find the correct page number. And here we are, the start of the Redo chapter 13.3. So with practice, the search facility can become very, very useful, and you will find yourselves navigating these books quite quickly. What you might also notice on the side of my books is the tabs. Now, these are available if you download the app. They're not available if you access the books online. And setting a bookmark tab is simplicity in itself. So common areas where there's large amounts of information to absorb, it'd be unfeasible to try and remember every last piece of information in these books. It's about finding it quickly. Table of contents, CDM, duty holders, 3.6. We've got various duty holders, clients, principal designers, and so on. Trying to remember all the various functions could be a bit of an ask. So I find my reference to duty holders. There it is, 3.6. So if I want to come back to this, it starts with clients, principal designers, and so on. If I want to come back to this, I'm going to set a bookmark. So hover over the bookmarks button, give it a click, and it opens up this side panel. And you can see it's clearly marked bookmark. I can choose whatever I'd like to call this tab. I'm just going to stick with the simple and say CDM duty holders. This color tab here, you can actually change the color of your tabs. Personally, I like a bit of a contrast, so I go for the darker colors and just add it to the page. And that's it. You can see it's applied, and there's my duty holders tab. As you're going through, you might think other things might be useful. For example, project documents. We've got the construction phase plans, pre-construction information, health and safety file. Rather than trying to remember every last nuance, it is so simple to just bookmark this again. Bookmark, I can call it CDM project docs, add it to the page, and there's the tab. So with these tabs applied, think of it like a virtual post-it note. I could quite quickly click the tab and it'll take me straight through the page. Simplicity in itself. Okay, we'll hold that chapter for now. When we return, we will look at the companion website.